Hello everyone, this is DH Newsroom. We are hours away from IPL auction, which is taking place in Abu Dhabi on December 16. Mark your calendars if you haven't. Now, to understand how teams are shaping up for the big payday, we have on our panel Sydney and Vignesh. I'd like to start with Namma favorite and defending champions RCB first. I think who have a 16.40 crore purse, which is quite low for this auction, and they have 8 slots to fill. Sydney, please help me understand what can we expect from RCB this time.
Hi, Aditya. Hi, Vignesh. Hope you guys are doing good. This
Yeah,
is the
hello.
time of the year when we feel miserable as sports journalists because when you see all these players go for such huge money, and even uncapped players end up taking more in one season that we make in 1 year. So this one, anyway,
1 year?
that's jokes. Yeah. Yeah, the base price for uncapped players is 20 lakhs, if I'm not wrong. Not
You
many
do that.
journal
You
sports.
do. We don't.
Yeah. No, no, not me also. Not many, hardly any sports journalist makes that much of money unless you reach a very elite level.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
jokes apart, that's our problem. Now, talk about RCB, defending champion. See, the strategy for RCB when the retention list was done was very simple. Why fix when it ain't broken? So, what they did was they retained a vast majority of the core players. The only surprising players that they released was probably Liam Livingston and Mayank Agarwal, who played the last two, three set of matches. So, in terms of team dynamics, I think RCB have got all bases covered because a good set of openers in Devdutt and Kohli. Then they have a good set of middle order batsmen in Rajat Patidar, good enough spinners. Pace also looks pretty solid. What RCB will probably be looking at in this auction is one, I feel they would be looking at a backup opener. Reason being that, see, last season in the playoffs is when Devdutt got injured, and then they had to get in Mayank, like I was saying. And then even Kohli is 37 now. So you never know. And what if an injury happens to any one particular player? Yes, there is Phil Salt who can double up as an opener. But I think having a specialist opener is something they will be looking at. And I feel that one player they might target is Quinton de Kock. He was part of RCB, if I'm not wrong, but 6, 7 years ago. And then he's pretty much been a journeyman. So that's one player. I think Rachin Ravindra could be another possible option that RCB might look at because Rachin is what you can say something what Krunal also does to RCB. Rachin is a top order batsman. Rachin can bat in the middle order. The only problem with Rachin is that he's more an anchorish batsman. He's not a bang bang sort of a player. At the same time, he can, he's a very good handy spinner as well. This one. So that's one thing that I see RCB trying to get a solid backup opener. Then another plug they would want to probably fill is probably a big hitter in the middle order. Now, they do already have Jitesh as a finisher. They have Tim David to come and do the big hits. They also have Romario Shepherd, who produced a couple of match winning knocks last season. Now, just in case if anyone is unavailable or IPL is a very taxing tournament, you keep traveling a lot. It's about 14 matches that you play in the league, so you always need backup. So I think probably somebody in the middle order is what they would look at. Last thing, I also feel that they might go for a specialist fast bowler simply as a backup for Josh Hazelwood. Now Hazelwood is a fantastic bowler, but he's been beset by injuries in the last few months. He has missed the complete Ashes. Now we don't know whether Hazelwood will be fit enough for the T20 World Cup. That will give a sort of a fitness check on is this one. That's one area that's a bit of a concern for RCB. And I feel there are two possible options there for RCB there. One is Gerard Coetzee, who's really, really rapid, who's really fast. He's aggressive, he's in your face. He's kind of mentality that Kohli might like. And another fast bowler who RCB might target could also be Heinrich Nokia. So these are things. And one more player that I feel RCB also might go all out is Cameron Green. He played for RCB 2 seasons ago. He missed out the last season because of injury. And he was one player who RCB said that given a choice, they wouldn't want to let him go. So maybe they might try to get him back. Mind you, there is no right to match card in this mini auctions. So they will have to probably loosen their purse strings. So that's pretty much, I think RCB will do some kind of safe shopping in these auctions.
Interesting observation about
Yeah.
RCB, like gave me a lot of ideas, clarity.
Yeah.
Now, like moving away from RCB, when I look at it, when I when I saw the price purse of all the team. KKR 64 plus crore they have, which is like 20 more than CSK who are at the second. Vignesh, help me understand how that, impacts the upcoming auction.
Yeah, so the two biggest purses in the auction is KKR and CSK. But let's be honest, as long as purses are important, even slots to be filled are important. So while half the teams go into the auction, having their core, these two teams, like a few, of course, they have their cores retained, but they have crucial slots to fill. So despite having 64 and 43 approximate crores, they need to have good amount of players as backup or coming into the auction. I mean, it's a mini auction, and it's so fast paced that your plans can go haywire. So coming to the two big teams, let's firstly talk about CSK. Of course, Karnataka fans, RCB fans will have more eyes on CSK than KKR.
Yeah.
So they were already in the news weeks into the auction with the Samson Jadeja saga that was going on. So with them going all in for Samson and leaving out Jadeja and Sam Curran, I think their main aim will be to get an elite overseas finisher or an all-rounder to fill up that slot. So they will keep their eyes, of course, on Cameron Green and Lam Livingston, because if you had observed in the previous auction, they actually did go for Lam Livingston. So he is a spinner he can bowl his right arm leg spin to the ball turning away, and also take with his off spinners he can take it away from the left handers. And with Chepok being a slightly slowish surface on certain occasions, and him coming in the tail end of the inning, death overs smashing it, I think he is going to be a crucial puzzle if CSK go after him. They lost last time. They lost him to RCB for around 8.5 or 8.8 CR. But again, I feel personally, CSK will again go for him. Again, then the obvious option is Cameron Green. He's someone who's got height and slightly using Chepok's on. If you sometimes on certain surfaces in Chepok, you hit the right good length, the ball sometimes takes off. And Cameron Green, with using his height, that might be crucial. And also, if you see, Cameron Green for Australia has also thrived in that middle order slot. So with Dubey and Dhoni coming as an impact player, I see Dhoni as an impact player this time, if at all he plays. And with Dubey, I think Cameron Green nicely fits in that middle order. If that is the case with two all-rounders, I think Jadeja, I mean, there is definitely no replacement for Jadeja. It's impossible. But I think there is a talent in Prashant Veer. So he's also attended CSK trials this time around at the CSK Academy. And he's a UP player who's not an exact replacement for Jadeja, but again, bowls that sort of left arm spin and can strike it around that 150, 160 strike rate. So that is one. And coming to the spinners, I mean, of course, they have Noor Ahmed, but again, with Jadeja and Ashwin retiring, that is a massive hole. Ashwin and Jadeja on most games give you 8 overs. They're like a bank. And to replace that, I think it's crucial for CSK. I mean, of course, they have Shreyas Gopal, who's been doing really well in this domestic season, but I feel CSK will go hunting for someone like Vanindo Hasaranga, who I think he's going to be with his variations. I think he's going to be key in Chepok, and he can also bat. So I think he fits that middle order role again for CSK. And overall, I think with 43, I expect them to make these purchases.
What I understood is Cameron Green is already out of RCB's reach
Yeah.
with that fat purse.
Yeah, yeah.
There's quite that's a large gulf.
Now, talking about Cameron Green, because it'll be interesting because no, the rules are since it's a mini auction, the rules are set in such a way that Cameron Green can't go beyond 18 crores.
Okay.
Cameron Green can go for about 18 crores, but let's see. Anyway, I think he's going to be the big star of the
Which is
auctions.
already above
Yeah.
Yeah,
RCB's price.
yeah,
Since Gambhir has left, KKR again is back to what they always do. That one of the most inconsistent team in the history of IPL.
yeah.
And I mean, now they lost Russell. Of course, he was past his prime. Like, with that kind of budget to spend during this upcoming auction, do you feel they can plug all the holes, Vignesh?
See, again, it's a very new setup in terms of coaching. If you see, Abhishek Nair is the head coach. They got in Bravos, but they got in Shane Watson. They got in Saudi. So it's a new setup. But again, with KKR's philosophy, it's always been an overseas opener at the top. No, if we have seen Quinton de Kock, we've seen Ramanullah Gurbaz. I feel they will definitely target Quinton de Kock again. But with respect to two not so big names. One is Ben Duckett. He's aggressive. He's been under McCallum. He's been thriving. It's, as they say, the renaissance of Duckett under McCallum. That's what has been happening. And also Jamie Smith. He's been doing sound noises for all the wrong reasons in the recently that's in the ongoing Ashes. But I think Jamie Smith is a serious talent, to be really honest, and he can strike it at upwards of 170. And he's been consistent. He's been consistent in the English domestic circuit, and I think that's a solid pair for KKR. And again, quite a few Indian pacers, in Vaibhav Arora, Harshit Rana, but they lack a death bowling option, a serious death bowling option. So I feel a fast bowler is a desperate need for KKR. So again, Matt Henry comes to mind, but Matt Henry is more of a new ball bowler. But he is at times being expensive at the death, but he's a wicket taking option. Let's be honest. If they can pull off the last 4 overs with Vaibhav Arora, he's been decent. And Harshit Rana, who is now full of confidence playing India games left, right, and center. But again, if Matt Henry, then somehow plug in Matt Henry, so that's a good option. And again, as Sydney was talking, Enric Nokia, he can bowl close to 150, over 150 clicks actually, and he can actually hit the block hole. So I think that's a good death bowling option again. So I think overall, KKR, as they have the money, again, I feel personally with Russell gone now and a middle order option, it's a massive shoes to fill. But yeah, it's a no-brainer going into the auction that Venkatesh Iyer and Cameron Green will go to KKR, man. It is close to delaying the inevitable.
Sorry, CSK and
I know. I know Venki Mysore spoke openly about saying that we don't buy players just to release them and buy them back for cheap. But again, I think Venkatesh Iyer going back to KKR is inevitable. With and also Cameron Green clearly taking that number 5 spot, and yeah, with Rinku Singh finishing games, I think that's a solid middle order for KKR with Iyer, Rinku Singh, and Cameron Green. So that fits the bill. And of course, with one foreign quick and 2 Indian pacers with Varun Chakravarti, I think that seals the deal for KKR. 16 overs. And if they, of course, pick in Venkatesh Iyer and Cameron Green, they can make the 4 overs if one has a bad day. So I think that seals the deal.
Basically, auction may not be the solution for IPL. Sorry, for KKR. Let's move to the more concise questions now. Like I want Sydney to answer this. Who are your top 5 picks for this auction?
Well, I think one player who's been spoken about, in fact, rather we kept speaking so much about is, Cameron Green. Like I touched upon at the start of the thing, he was with RCB in 2024. He had a really good season in 2024 where he was striking the ball at about 143, and also he picked up 10 wickets as well. He's one of the most accomplished cricketers, all-rounders going around the world right now. And he spoke about his height as well. And at the Chinnaswamy, sadly, we don't know whether the Chinnaswamy will be hosting the IPL. But, in some of the small Indian grounds, he can use his height to great effect and tank the ball. So I think Cameron Green could be the one big player to really watch out for. Having missed the last IPL because of injury and now back in form, he'll be rearing to, come and have a hit at the IPL. Another player, like how Vignesh was talking about, is Venkatesh Iyer. Now, about 4 or 5 years ago, Venkatesh Iyer is one of the hot properties in Indian cricket. There was a time when even Hardik Pandya's form was a bit wavering, and he was also beset by injury. And then here was this guy who could come and strike the ball at the top of the order when the power play restrictions was there. He was able to clear the field, and he was phenomenal for KKR in the about 2 to 3 seasons that he played. And then at the same time, he was an medium pacer as well. Maybe not a death bowler or an opening bowler, but he could come and chip in those middle overs, 2 to 3 overs that he could bowl and give away just about 6 runs and over. Now, sadly, the last couple of years have not gone his way. Not partly not due to his fault because of team dynamics. Venkatesh had to come and bat in the middle of the order, and he had to recalibrate his game. And it sometimes takes a lot because opening in the IPL to coming and playing in the middle order is two different things because the field is out in the open, the balls are much softer. So I think he's done enough work on his game, and given that he's young and he wants to prove himself, so that is someone player that a lot of people will be looking at. I think another one I was talking about at the beginning was Rachin Ravindra. Again, he's a very nice player. He can also bat at the top of the order. He can even bat in the middle of the middle order as well. But the only problem is that he can't go bang bang from the very beginning. Is more what an anchorage sort of a batsman. He takes his time, but then he can build his innings. But at the same time, he's got a lot of other craft. He's a good spinner. He reads the game pretty well. He's tipped as to be one of the next big players in New Zealand, or rather tipped to take over the side as well. So I would look at him. Then another one player we were talking about is Quinton de Kock. Now, de Kock is, in terms of IPL, I would call him a journeyman because if I'm not wrong, he's represented 6 franchises. He made his IPL
Seen him
debut in
everywhere.
20. Yeah, he his IPL debut in 2013, and in about 12 years, he's played for 6 franchises. That's huge. Out of 10 franchises, he's played for 6. That's like massive. And now, but at the same time, for 3 seasons, he scored over 500 runs. Now, that is huge. Like for an opener to be scoring over 500 runs for 3 seasons, it's massive. But, because cricket is so demanding in modern day world and the schedules are so tough and it really caused a burnout in him. So he had to retire from the game. He took his time out, recharge his batteries. Now he's back again. He's in blazing form, and he feels that he's just rediscovered his mojo. He was the moment away from the game that helped him reset his battery. I think he's more focused now. And we saw in the T20 series how in the second game he scored 40 odd ball 90, if I'm not wrong.
46.
46, yeah. 46 ball 90. So he's a very, very dangerous batsman. I think he's one player that a lot of franchises could go for bidding. And one more player that I think could also set tongues wagging is Ravi Bishnoi. Now, he's a really talented leg spinner, but the last couple of seasons haven't gone his way, because cricket is that sort of a game where it's like an amplitude wave. You start well, there's time and it'll go down, and then in a game you'll pick up. So he was being released, but the fact that he's young, he's just about 25 years old age, wrist spinners are back in vogue again in IPL. So he's someone I feel a lot of franchises could go. In fact, I have a feeling that even RCB might bid for him, given they need a spinner. So that's my 5 picks.
I mean, Ravi Bishnoi was quite an interesting name because we
Hmm.
always thought he's going to be one of the big players for the country,
Yeah.
but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Vignesh, your top five.
Yeah, so I mean, Sydney's taken the big names as such. I'll just come a little low. But
Uh,
I mean, I think we have missed out on one serious player is, Matisha Patirana. He's been released. So after one SA20 tournament where he slightly changed his action, I mean, he's still a slinger, but once he slightly changed his action, he's been on the expensive side of things. Of course, we remember Dhoni saying that he will be on the slightly injury side of things. But again, someone who can bowl at 150 clicks. No, again, not many bowlers these days bowl 150 clicks and are on the money. I mean, of course, Patirana is a little wayward, but again, he's got the knack of bowling Yorkers at the death, and he's bowling good Yorkers. So I think he's going to be a good option for many teams actually with KKR. Then again, if there is someone who can attack Rashid Khan in a T20 or a 100-ball format, he's always going to be big. So that is Lamb Livingston. I know RCB, it was up and down, and he's not, stamped his authority in the IPL. But outside of the IPL, he's actually done really well. Even in the recent Abu Dhabi event, that he's been smacking it all over the park. So Lamb Livingston again will enter the auction. I mean, he's the Gen Z Maxwell, if I could say. He's going to
yeah.
always come into the auction, and he's going to take away
Sehwag may
everything.
not
Again,
agree with you.
actual,
No, but my only problem there is I'm a little
yeah,
touchy about English players because you know
yeah,
that the English summer season, the first part of their summer season coincides with the latter half of the IPL. So that's why
yeah,
I mean, of course, despite them having great talent and super
yeah,
players, especially in the T20 format, sometimes teams are a little, uh, you know, you say touchy about buying
correct.
English players for big money. So that's my only gripe. But you
Yeah,
never know. Yeah.
yeah, correct. And
I
again,
mean, I
talking
have
about,
always heard that
yeah,
Liam Livingstone is a big hitter and all, but I never saw
Yeah.
any of
yeah,
his
I
big
mean,
hits. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
he could be traveling to Den Gardens, after Russell
Yeah.
is similar fit. You just never
It's
know.
Yeah.
sad that
And again,
Harry Brook is not there. And we
Ah,
all know
yeah.
why.
yeah,
He's someone who
yeah,
could have, I mean,
yeah,
tailor made for IPL actually.
correct,
True.
correct.
True.
Yeah, talking about Englishmen, there's one more who pops up is Johnny Bairstow. I mean, if we all remember that 249, 250 chase, I mean, he
Yeah.
just went bonkers, and with
Yeah.
again KKR, if not for Jamie Smith, they could even target Johnny Bairstow at the top, and he's a serious hitter. He can
Mm.
come hit, he
Yeah.
give you. He's like similar to Phil Salt, he's going to give you out of if you make him play 14 games, 7 games, he's going to give you 60, 65
Mm.
runs in the power play, and he's going to hit 40, and two of those games he's going to convert it. So I think he's a serious option for many teams. Now the controversial pick is Prithvi Shaw, man. I mean,
Oh, interesting. Now we are
yeah.
talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you
Again,
buy him, Vignesh? If you were a team owner, would you buy Prithvi Shaw? Given
I
you
mean,
know what all that is happening. So, but would
correct.
you like spend about say 8 crores or 10 crores on Prithvi Shaw and pick him,
No.
or even say 2 crores or 3 crores?
So if he comes under 4.5, I would
Mm.
certainly pick him because an Indian
Mm.
opener in a mini auction is like gold.
Mm.
I mean, let's be honest about it. It is
No.
you are not going to go into IPL auction
No.
getting Indian openers for under 4.5. But again,
Mm.
he's got his disciplinary issues. But again, with the fact that I'm not too sure how his relationship with Abhishek Nair is, but
Mm.
you just never know. I think he might.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel he might actually go into KKR or probably back to DC. And
Mm.
the one we all
Yeah.
hope for is Mayank Agarwal. No, I mean
Uh,
I'm not too sure what happened in the recent.
yeah.
It's Said Mushtaq Ali. Karnataka had a shambolic tournament. Uh, but again, as I told, Indian opener who can strike it at around 130, 140 and build it there. Again, I think with Mayank, it's slightly with respect to confidence. It's more of a mental than a skill game because he's ridiculously talented and he has the white ball abilities to take it to attack white ball and in the power play take on the pacers, even the spinners. He comes walks in front and goes to the pitch of the ball for spinners. He hits it, turns it over. So I think the set of skills is there, but again, it's more of a mental than a physical thing with Mayank. But if he gets a certain good coach and talks, I think Mayank Agarwal is a genuinely good pick for an Indian opener. So that's my fight.
We'll keep this one short. Uncapped players have always been a spectacle in the IPL
Yeah,
mini auction. And, I recall Avesh Khan went for 10 crores. Samir Rizvi, went
Mm.
to CSK for 8.4 crore. I can't say if
yeah.
it was a success. And, there have been so many instances in the past. Uh, Help me pick top three from the, especially if you have seen talent at the ongoing Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy. Sydney, you?
I'm going to run it really fast here. I think there's one player that we really need to watch is Akib Navi.
Yeah.
He himself has said that he's quite mystified. That is, every time he comes to an auction, he looks with great interest, but none of the franchisees pick him, despite him being a very decent, player. But I think maybe this time things could be a little different. There's another upcoming all-rounder from Tamil Nadu called Sunny Sandhu. He did well in the TNPL, and he can also see he's a good medium pacer as well as he can come and make in those quick fire 10 ball 20 or 8 ball 820 those kind of knock, which is very very important load on the order. And finally, I think one more player I would feel could probably go for good money is Sonu Yadav. Remember, he was part of RCB in 2023, but didn't play a single game, and he's been out. So he's one player that could interest of franchisees.
And Vignesh, yours? I mean, you were
He-
quite
he-
excited when Sunny's name came up.
Yeah.
No, I just remembered an Ashwin tweet about it. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ashwin and his tweets.
yeah, I mean, engagement farming is like a drug. No, once you get addicted to it, there's no going back.
Yeah.
So yeah, quickly coming to it. Tripura, I would say Manisankar Murad Singh. So if you recently watched the game against
Yeah,
Karnataka, I think
yeah.
he just went berserk and the game ended the super over and
Yeah.
Karnataka lost. And so I mean, he scored 3,000 runs in domestic cricket. He's got 300 wickets. He's commodity that will add to a bench strength. Probably for a Sunrisers Hyderabad, actually bank heavily on Nitish Kumar Reddy if they need a all rounder. So he could be a valuable option. One more is again, as I spoke, Prashant Veer. So he is that Jadeja like to like replay. He's young. He can hit the ball at around 150 strike rate and also come up and bowl his left arm orthodox spinners. So I think that's a decent package as well. Where I mean, in the end, in the accelerated auction, probably not before the accelerated auction, these players could go for high prices. And one more is Ritik Tada. So basically, he is from Madhya Pradesh Premier League. They call him the next Hardik Pandya.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
and he also idolizes
Mm.
Hardik Pandya. So he's got that lean physique who can hit
Mm.
big sixes. And again, he is someone who's hit at a strike rate of over 200 in the domestic T20 league. So I think he could be one of the players to watch out for.
And then, it's always fascinating to talk about the talents coming up from the
Yeah.
local feeder system for India. It was a very interesting conversation once again. Thank you, Sydney and Vignesh, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Anyway, hopefully, let's all watch with bated breath and let's see who rakes in the moolah come
Fingers
Tuesday.
crossed. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.